I'm making a change today. The liquor been taking the pain away. I heard you was giving your chain away. That's kind of like giving your fame away. What's wrong with you? I sit in a box where the owners.
Yo, what's up, broskies? Kiana coming at you with my undefeated Scareclaw list. I went undefeated, of course, in the Winamac side event at the regionals in Greenville, South Carolina. I pretty much like swept through everybody during the Winamac. It was 4 rounds. I played against Labyrinth. Labyrinth was actually that side event. Labyrinth was the hardest deck I had to play. We went into game 3, went into time, but I was going in for the OTK anyway, so it was like fine, it was whatever, because it was trap and like none of the monsters like really affect like your cards on the field, so he did out to the main deck boss. I had another matchup against Dragon Link. That was pretty free. I played Heroes. He was super late, so he had a game lost, but I don't think I would have lost to Heroes anyways. And then in the final round of the Winamac tournament, I played against Branded, and I came super prepared for Branded. It just felt really free. You know, I OTK'd him. He locked me out. He did this like weird like Ido card. I don't know. It's kind of like a Scythe lock, but you can't summon, period. And then he sat under it for like a couple turns so he could just kill me, which was fine. And then game 2, like I wiped him. And then game 3, I went ahead and clapped him up. So I'm going into a list. I'm gonna tell you a lot of cards I would change. Before I do, go ahead and like the video, comment down below. You know, what you would change, or you know, pretty much anything, and then subscribe to the channel because we're right here at 600. We're doing another giveaway at 600, but this is the mat I won. I don't know, this was released for something before, but I really like this mat. It was a fun mat to win. Overall, the experience is super fun. The regionals, I was X1 through 4 rounds, and then I showed up late. I got back super late because they announced break, but I didn't know when the break started. It started like 10 minutes prior, so I left, got back in like 30 minutes. They were like halfway through the round. I got a match loss, and then I pretty much dropped from that to enter this because X2 through 5 with 4 rounds left, you're probably not gonna get your invite. So whatever, I went ahead and dropped, but it's fine. Our first up, double Vsauce Starfrost. This card's fine. It's pretty good. I'll probably cut it down to 1. There's never a time. I OTK'd a guy with this one game. I'm doing my little combo, and then like in the Winamac, in the finals, game 3, I smacked him with this pretty easily. So Vsauce is fine, but 1 is all you need. But for this is my regionals list, so I'm gonna leave it in there for now. I am going to come with an update because we're going to circle back to another regionals, and but whatever. So next up, triple Rykart. This card's pretty silly. Just on normal or on summon, period, you just get to search a Scareclaw spell trap. There's new ones coming out of Darkwing Blast. I haven't really read into them that much, but I'm sure they're probably good. And then I was getting his second effect like all day. If you have 3 defense position monsters, you can get a draw in addition to like his, you know, his regular search effect. Was pretty nuts, and I was just setting that up all day, just killing people. So next up, triple Acro. He's crazier than you think because he gives you a 300 boost for every Scareclaw monster in the in defense. So no, it's just every defense position monster you control. So a lot of times your card's like at 4,200. He's pretty nuts. He's super nuts. Next up, triple Scareclaw Balloon. I do max out on all the little doggos because they're all nuts, and then you can go into All Mirage pretty easy with all of them. But Balloon is the piercer, which came up quite a bit. I was searching him off Tryhard to close out games relatively quick. Triple Astra puts in an absurd amount of work and makes like OTK through anything like possible. In the finals, game 3, he used a Luber's effect to target a card on the field, which he target my Tryhard to bring a Luber back to try to like survive the battle phase. But I had like 4 Scareclaws with different names on the field, so it could swing 4 times. So I just killed him through it. Next up, triple Parallel Exceed. I was on the fence about this a lot, but this card put in like an absurd amount of work. It was just nuts. I mean, it's just really just nuts. You can go into like anything, but it's pretty crazy. You just normal summon like a doggo, like a little doggo, and then go into Omrage and then like trigger, you know, Parallel Exceed, and like, you know, you can go right into your tryhard play. But Parallel Exceed put in like a dumb amount of work like all weekend. Next up, Double Ash. I'll probably move it to 3. A lot of people aren't playing like hand traps, period. So I'll probably move it to 3. I ran 2 Ogre. Ogre like was never good in any matchup I played. But it's fine, you live and you learn. Double DD Crow, I didn't see it once. It would have helped me against all my Brandon matchups, but I won all those anyways. So it's fine. Nibiru was pretty great against like heroes. I played a tier deck, and they just no, it was Predaplant branded. He kept going in turn. Smacked him with Nibiru at the end of his main phase, and then I just OTK'd him through it. So Nibiru put in work. Really, this was just my cross-out designator target, but I was just finding it. Next up, Primitive Planet. This card's broken. I only lost in the actual main event. Was to Mystic Mind Burn, which was unfortunate. I thought this was like enough to be the out, and which it was. Like if you know, if you were running like this in like Mystic Mind or like Striker or anything like that, it would have been enough. But he was playing a Protect the Castle style. So he had like the Dark Bribes, he had like Solemn Judgments, he like literally was playing Poison, the Cauldron of the Old Man or whatever it's called, and Mystic Mind, and it was just crazy. But and then Terraforming to find it, but it's pretty easy to find. Terraform is like an easy card to side out. That's what I was doing like the whole game. Double Arrival is insane. I was forgetting its effect quite a bit, so my cards were just getting destroyed. But I mean, it didn't hurt me. I could have won games a lot easier if I remembered its second effect, but it's pretty crazy because it's just a Monster Reborn. And then if your Scareclaw would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card. So, and Scareclaw, if a Scareclaw link monsters you control, so it protects everything. It was crazy. Dark Ruler and Warren, never saw it, but I main decked it. I just felt it was necessary. I never saw it, and I was able to chew through boards anyways. Next up, the worst card in my deck, Double Crossout Designator. This card was terrible. It was more often than not like a dead card in my hand. I think the best thing I used it for was discard for a Cerberus, Nightmare Cerberus effect. It's terrible. I'll sub those out for sure. I'll probably put in another Prosperity and like put in like another Super Poly or something. One called by, glued to my hand. It was nuts. Pot of Prosperity. Every time I resolved it, like I won. It's nuts. It just lets you dig for like a board breaker, or you know, everything in this deck is like kind of gas, but this, like if I'm going second, like it would like get me. It got me to an evenly. It got me to. It's got me to a lot of stuff. It was pretty nuts. One time I had like straight gas in my hand, so I just drew a Prosperity, then just added like Super Poly and just set it, and like it was pretty much game. Double Super Poly, put in work. It was MVP probably of the deck. It was good in like every matchup except Mystic Mind, obviously, but it was pretty nuts the whole day. It was just stuck to my hand. It was stuck to my hand so much I thought I was running 3, but I only put like 2 in the list. It was insane. I'm gonna bump it up to 3. Reinforcements of the army for 1 of, and 1 Scareclaw Splash, which is insane. I wish it destroyed the card, but it doesn't. It just negates the effects. But it was insane. It's like it put in a lot of work, saved me a lot. Saved me against the Dark Ruler, saved me against Evenly, saved me against Lightning Storm. It it was just pretty crazy. It was pretty nuts. But that's it for the main deck. Like I said, I'm changing out like quite a bit, so stay up for the update. Triple Lightheart. This card's crazy. Just searches a field spell. It can special summon itself if you control a Vsauce, but that's once per duel. A lot of the time I wasn't even going into Lightheart. I was going into Armorage, because Parallel Exceed kind of like stayed in my hand like all game, all day. The worst that ever happened was I opened up 2 Exceed, so that kind of sucked. But other than that, it was pretty nuts. Next up, Double Tryhard. People just couldn't out this card. It was just crazy. It just switch everything they have into defense, and then like on the crackback, and I lost like almost every die roll. And then on the crackback, you know, you can just swing for mega damage, because you can his effect to add 1 from grave. Well, special summon 1 from grave, then add 1 from deck is once per turn. It's not just like an on summon. Yeah, so it's just crazy because it changes all things to defense. And once per turn, if this card is an extra monster, only you can target one level 3 Scareclaw monster on your graveyard, special summon it. So often I was going to this off my Exceed plays, and then I would special summon like a Doggo, add Reichardt, and keep going from there. So it's just crazy. Almirage, low-key MVP. Thanks for the suggestion in the comment. I might throw that up on the screen who commented that. But I definitely was like thinking on it like all day before like I submitted my deck list, and like I did it, so I'm glad. Nightmare Servers actually kind of won me a game one time, but Phoenix never went into it. Appaloosa never went into it. After like 3 rounds, I just started banishing this all prosperity because I was never going to go into it. Access Code Talker never went into it. I think even like in the last round of the winning mat, I just banished all prosperity because I was like, I'll never go into this card. This card's insane. Predaplant Trivertrum. So I think it was like round 3. I was playing this guy playing branded Predaplants, and his board ended like Dragostapelia, like 2 other dark cards, and I just smacked down the Super Poly. And then he was like, okay, what's your targets? And I was like, you're all 3. And he was like, oh, okay, like these 2? And I was like, no, all 3. And he was like, what? And I was like, yep, I got the target. So it was crazy. And then something else came up. It gains attack for all the total original attack of all their monsters on the field Predator counters. He had sprayed my field with Predator counters, so it was like quite hilarious. And then next up, Dragostapelia put in work against Branded. I would just fuse off their stuff and then finish with Dragostapelia, and then he's a monster negate. So if they didn't have follow-up, they just didn't have follow-up. Garura is insane. I forgot he does double battle damage, and a lot of times like you're swinging directly with this card. And then he's just a plus because when he leaves the field, you just draw a card. Well, no, it's just if this card is sent to the graveyard, so it's just kind of crazy regardless. 1 Baguska never went into it. 1 Dweller won me a game against Branded because he had to normal summon his Frightfurt. No, he uses trap card to special summon like Frightfurt and Aluber. He was trying to like feign battle damage because I was going for the kill, and it did protect him that one time. And then at the end of battle phase, main phase 2, I overlaid his Edge Imp and my Reichardt for Abyss Dweller, and then in his standby, I just shotgunned Abyss Dweller, and then that was pretty much it. He really didn't have that much follow-up. But I mean, this deck performed, like it's up there, and then we're getting new support, so I mean, I like it. I'll go through my side, even though like I'm the most unlucky dude alive, and I never saw these cards. 1 Primal Being Token. I had an additional 2 Nibiru in my side. I think it was correct because every time I needed it, like it was clutch. 2 Alpha, just because I control so many beast cards and stuff like that. The only time I sided, I didn't see it, so it was fine. 2 Cosmic Cyclone. It didn't really put in work. It got cursed still the forbidden one. The only time I sided in. Infinite permanents, like, put in work, especially gets branded. Like, my 2-tier branded matchups, like, I put this in, and like it put in more work than like you would think. But infinite permanents is pretty crazy. Triple evenly match. Like I said, one match I prosperity into evenly, and just evenly is bored. Then main phase 2, I'll just, you know, set up the floodgates. Will that be in tryhard? And then lastly, triple anti-spell fragrance. I sided this in literally every single matchup because it would have just like killed every deck I played. I didn't see it once the whole game. Even like I would go like, one time I even opened up prosperity going first after I sided these in, and I dug 6 deep, still didn't see it. So it's like, it just was like kind of staying away from me. But if I had seen it, it would have been crazy. But that's pretty much for that. Like I said, like the video if you like the video, comment down below what you would change. Like I said, stay tuned for the update because I have a lot of ideas for this deck. And subscribe to the channel because we're almost 600. We'll be doing another giveaway, and we'll see you next time.